Hi, my name is Eitana Hecht, and I'm here with the DailyClout. I'm excited to invite Mr. George Della Pietra. He is a naturopath based out of Switzerland. And welcome to DailyClout. I'd love to hear what you're involved in.
Hello, Etana. Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. So as I understand it, you have created a company that has kind of burst onto the scene at the moment as very relevant. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, it's called Safe Blood, and you will find it under safeblood.net worldwide or on the many endings regarding the country. But .net you will find it. And it's about the free choice of blood donor. Because like 5 years ago, you could go to any hospital, bring your mother, your sister or whatever, and say, this is my blood donor. You could also donate your own blood, like ahead of a surgery, a scheduled one. And suddenly, since COVID, this is not possible anymore. There are exceptions, like in the United States. Luckily, in most states, this is possible, but in the rest of the world, except of Africa, where everything is possible, it's not possible anymore. It means we had a right to choose our blood donor until suddenly it was taken from us. And my fight is against this. And you may ask, why is this suddenly important? Suddenly important, is it? Because we have the new mRNA technology with vaccines, which is a worldwide clinical trial, I would call it, because they were not tested properly. And we know that these COVID vaccines and in the future, all other vaccines, which will be rolled out on the same technology, they are dangerous. They can damage you severely, and they do in many, many cases. So this is alarming, and I had to go against it and make sure that we don't get the vaccines through the back door, through contaminated blood by a transfusion.
When exactly did the ability to procure your own blood for surgery or whatnot, when did that go away? When did the hospital stop allowing that?
This was obviously a slow process. It came to my attention since Corona, since we actually tried to do things. Suddenly I received emails from people who told me, oops, I was in this hospital. They did not let me donate my own blood. And I said, hey, what's wrong with them? And then they said, no, we don't do this anymore since years. So it's hard to say when exactly it started, but it's not a coincidence for sure that it's at the same time that the so-called Corona pandemic ran over the world.
Absolutely. So how did your organization come about? How did you get started? Who are you working with? What kind of support have you seen from friends, family?
Well, I have a small team in Switzerland, which is luckily supporting me. Worldwide, we're in the process of setting up teams in every country we are on, and it's counting today, it's 82 states which we are active, and we have a couple of countries where the team is very well running, like in Holland, for instance, while in the United States, we're in the process of building teams up for each state and a team for the whole country to also look how we have to be organized legally there. It's relatively easy in the States, I must say. So I'm very confident that we have the whole thing up and running really within a very short time. What we already have is the database with members worldwide, which are willing to give their unvaxxed blood to a receiver which wants this. And we on our website, we connect these people. We are a mediator, if you want. So this is the main purpose, actually, that people can find other people who would donate them their blood. And we're very close worldwide. It works. In the States, we already do it. In other countries, we have to force the hospitals first to accept a blood donor in the first place.
Right. That was my next question, is what kind of challenges are you seeing as you come up against hospitals or medical institutions, public or private? And how does the operation, let's say in the States, you said you're already up and running. So how does that work? Do you have private clinics?
We don't have our own clinics. The idea is not that we put our own clinics up, but that we work with medical partners. We approach clinics, we approach laboratories as well in the United States. This is possible, and ask them to be our medical partner. They do the medical work for us. We do the mediation.
Wow. Okay. So then the doctors that you're approaching and the medical clinics that you're approaching, they're open to this idea?
They are actually, and even more than we approach them, they approach actually us. I receive daily emails from private labs, from people who actually want to open a lab or who already have a clinic, for instance, and they tell me, I want to be your partner. So, and this is right now being set up.
Wow, that's really impressive. When did that kind of interest start accumulating?
It's interesting. I started 1.5 years ago in Switzerland. And to answer your previous question, the answer I heard from politicians, from the medical establishment, 99% no, a big no to everything we try to do. So we're running against windmills. But in the States, it's a bit different. So the interest comes from them and they approach us. And but we started relatively late, because when we expand, we go by country that are interested in us. We don't approach countries. So people write to us and then we say, okay, there is an interest. And in the States, this started relatively late. So actually a month ago, I got the first emails, and then everything went very fast. We set up the team and the members are increasing. We have now 41 states in the United States. So there are not many left with dark spots. And yeah, it's going fast, going fast.
That's really incredible. Are the people who are, willing to partner with you, do they advertise this service, so to speak, that you're offering? Or are they still kind of under the radar about it because it's kind of taboo?
To be honest, I usually suggest them to stay under the radar, because our first idea was indeed to open our own labs. And there are some private clinics indeed also in the pipeline, but they will not run under SafeBlood, because if we need a license and we want one, and then they will simply put us on the waiting line for 5 years and say, okay, you're SafeBlood, because we're the enemy. But if you as a private person, you open a lab, everybody can do this if you have the qualifications, and you just offer your service to SafeBlood, and we're just one of your clients. And this is the idea. This is the way we operate. We look for side doors, back doors, because the front doors are locked wherever we knock.
That sounds like a recurring theme throughout COVID. How are there patients yet who are receiving this service, who have been reaching out to you or in contact with you? Like, are you kind of in touch with how it's working out on the ground?
We had the first ones actually recently in America, which was very exciting, because on a trial, if you want, so because it works, everything is fine, but nobody lets them use the blood. So it's pointless until they really can use it. And in America, we can. We also have, for instance, we connected people with the O- blood group, which is a very rare blood group. Wow. They actually said, okay, I would like to connect with the people in my area ahead of time, maybe if one day needed, and I already know who will be the one. So it's all about interacting to build up a community who is in touch, also because it's a question of trust. I mean, from who do you want your blood? And if you know them even personally, that's fantastic.
Right, of course. That's really incredible. What kind of media, I guess, firewalls have you come up against, but also what kind of media has been friendly to you?
The media like you are very friendly. This is mainly media which did not exist 3 years ago, because all the mainstream media, they ignore us, which I'm happy about, to be honest. Okay. Even though bad news is good news for us too. We had an article in a portal which is called Wise the other day, which was really, I saw that. This was actually the start. It called us conspiracy theorists and all these things. So it was, but however, we got so much interest because of this. So in the end, whatever you write, whatever you say about us, you're welcome. Since people like you give me the opportunity to put it straight. And also show our opinion about the whole thing, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And that Vice article, which of course is one of the first links that comes up when you search for safe blood in Google. But in that Vice article, they tried to make the claims that the FDA say that getting vaccinated blood is not an issue or anything like that. Have they reached out to you for comment?
No, they haven't.
They haven't. And your response to them would be what, if you could, if they watch this one day?
I would say thank you very much for the article. It helped a lot.
Excellent. That's great. How about your supply and demand? Are you starting to see more demand than supply?
It's interesting. I receive about 1,000 emails per day.
Wow.
And the majority are asking, where can I donate? Which I think is very nice. So they are
Wow.
willing to donate. On the other hand, we have the ones who say, how much do you pay for my blood?
Of course.
Especially in the United States, because there you can be paid, while in other states, for instance, in Europe, it's forbidden. You cannot be paid for blood donating.
Interesting.
So the both approach, and I think we have more who are actually willing to donate. And of course, when you enroll as a member, you have to say whether you want to be a donor, a receiver, or both. And I would say 90% they want to be both. But we have a few they only donate, actually, which is nice.
Wow, that's really, really amazing. It's an amazing portal that you've set up. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share about the process, or about how you can find Safe Blood and how you can sign up?
Safe Blood to find is very easy. It's the website I already mentioned. You have no troubles to find it. Sign up process is quite comprehensive, because we need to know who you are. We have to make sure that you're not a mole who tries to sneak in somehow. So you have to answer many questions. You even have to upload your ID card, which many people say, oh, I don't do this. We clear it again once we validated your person. But so we have to know who you are clearly, because you want to know, is this a real person the blood is coming from, or whatever? Is he really unvaccinated? And so it's a bit of process, but it takes 15 minutes of your time. Don't do it on a mobile phone, do it on a PC, because it's quite comprehensive. But it's straightforward, no problem. Let me tell you one thing in addition, because people often confuse us as a blood bank. Yes, we will have blood banks. We do have partners. But our main goal is actually just to install the right of the free choice again. This is the most important thing. Where you get the blood from is not a big issue, because we mediate. And the other important thing I want to say is, we don't want to promote blood transfusions at all. I would like to promote actually to be careful with blood transfusions and to do them only when it's necessary. And by all means, there are techniques which can prevent blood transfusions, where we already are very successful, that we talk to hospitals, we tell them, hey, our members, they have a living will. And in this living will, it states, we only want a blood transfusion after every other measure is tried out. For instance, the auto transfusion, where they collect your own blood during a surgery and bring it back to the bloodstream. This is amazing. Hospitals have the machine, they have everything. They just don't do it. And we have a lot of success in forcing, or let's say, talking to hospitals, and through the living will, which you have on the member card, the QR code, and then you are there to really tell them, hey, this is what we want. And they do it. They don't let you choose the blood donor, maybe, but this is what they do.
Got it. So in summary, it seems that you're almost targeting, or not even targeting, just making yourself available for private consumers, small businesses in the medical field who are not part of the gigantic, monolithic, medical industry that's pervasive across the Western world. And that's kind of your backdoor way to allow the people to restore that right to choose where their medical practices are coming from and how they're treated.
Exactly. Of course, the main target is then the public health system. One day it should be clear that you can go to every hospital and have the choice. But it's a long and rocky road. We will get there, and the way is over the private sector, clearly, because they also want to make some money. We're an NGO, we don't make money, but the ones who do the medical side for us. Of course, they have to make a living. And the only thing we want to, and we focus on, is that there will not be a market for unvaxxed blood, which will go at high skyrocket prices. Like I had one, he sent me an email, said, if you want my blood, it costs $1,000. So this is what we also have to go against.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm sure on behalf of many people, I'd like to thank you for coming out of retirement to work on this very important cause, without which our children don't really have a chance at any sort of medical freedom, you know, in their generation coming up. So thank you so much for all the work you're doing. Thank you for speaking with us, and it's been a pleasure. I wish you much success. And I hope everybody goes over to Safe Blood to check it out and see the work that Mr. Della Pietra has been doing and working on.
Thank you very much, Etana, for your work too, because if there would not be a few journalists left and media which indeed don't follow the doctrines, then we would have no chance. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely.
Bye, Etana.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, it's Naomi Wolf of DailyClout, and I am asking you to please, if you like the video you just saw, support us, become a member, donate. You can send checks to P.O. Box 24, Millerton, New York, 12546, or go to DailyClout, DailyClout, become a member or donate. Thank you so much for your support. Every penny goes for paying our hardworking staff, paying hosting costs, and paying our lawyers who have been leading the fight to keep you safe and free, to keep the Constitution safe and to keep you free. Thank you so much.